We're on the phone.
Hello?
Hello, Rob's here.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Daddy, you don't allow the motorcycle.
Yeah, I know. Daddy saw it too. It was weird.
Motorcycles are loud. Some motorcycles are loud.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Just fine, thank you. Are we gonna have a quorum?
I believe so.
Are you staying warm?
Trying. I thought you were in Florida, sir.
We're going Thursday.
Lucky.
We're leaving Thursday. Oh. Well, it's been cold down there.
Yeah, it has been.
The temperature where we go, Estero Island, it was 30 at 8 o'clock this morning, it was 36 degrees, so.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How
It's
long
gotta
you
get
going
warm.
for?
the only trouble is down there, it's when it's cold, it's damp cold and it you feel it more.
Mhm.
Okay, I see Brandon and Terry. And you,
Katie's on.
Roger just joined.
We have a quorum.
We do have a quorum?
Yep.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and start? Special meeting of the Auburn Industrial Development Authority will come to order. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Mr. Andre, Miss Wilbur McLeod, Miss McIntyre,
Here.
Mr. Gasper, Mr. Gravis,
Here.
Mr. Giantino, Mr. Cuddy,
Here.
Mr. Beer.
Here.
And it looks like Gwen just joined us.
Present. Hi, Gwen.
Hey.
Okay, unfinished business, the TGW 2022 marketing contract. Is there a motion to put this on the floor?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Devin, I think it would be helpful for you to just, I noticed in the written contract that what we were requesting was in, but I know you had some concerns. So maybe if you just want to tell us about the contract from your perspective, and I want to make sure it's doing what you need it to do. So if you want to just talk to us about it, I think that would be great.
I'm sorry, Gwen, you said that I had some concerns.
Well, no, I
About-
know there were some things you were looking for in the contract. So I think it would be helpful for you to let us know that this simultaneously answered our questions and is doing what you need it to do before we vote on it.
Yes, I think that TGW did deliver the requested breakouts that you had requested of them. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, their tactics make sense moving forward to help broadcast the brand and, you know, to continue to develop the brand. I hope that makes sense. I hope that what they've given answered all your questions. Like I said, I feel that it's satisfactory to me. I'm ready to move forward. I've been ready since December to move forward on this. But if you have any other questions, I'm, you know, about their tactics or about this strategy that they have put together, or, you know, anything else, I'm happy to answer.
Roger,
Yes.
you had some questions earlier on this. Were they answered for you?
Well, I got the answer and very helpful and very quick in the responses. And to summarize it very quickly is the fact that, you know, we're making a commitment of 57,000 for 2022. And I wanted to just get an understanding of if in fact that will be the magnitude of a typical annual commitment going into 23, 24, 25. And basically I got a response from Devin that it'll be up to us. So I think it'll be up to us, the board, to make that determination of, you know, what we want to do in 2023, for example, or 2024. And so as we go into this, this year where, you know, the strategy is laid out and we know what the magnitude of the commitment is, when we get to 2023, what happens then? And, you know, I mean, do we, Terry, you're going to get an answer, I guess. Is that possible?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, Devin's right. It's up to the board. But, you know, I think, you know, last year we made the website, or they made the website, but we asked to put the website together. And what we want to do is kind of, you know, see where it takes us. So obviously we're going to keep an eye on what you're good at, Roger, which is our, you know, being the treasurer and being in finances and making sure that we can afford it this year, but also at the same time, you know, leveraging that versus, you know, is it bringing in the kind of responses that we're hoping that it will bring, which is, you know, interested in, you know, companies looking at Auburn and so on. So, you know, I wouldn't be so, you know, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is definitely going to be a $57,000 a year commitment, because, you know, there's going to be some things that we're going to need to either, you know, take on our own, or, you know, things kind of move independently. But, you know, I think Devin's right. I mean, it's really kind of like, let's see where this takes us this year. And then on a year by year basis, see how much we need from TGW and, you know, we could vote on that tier system, because they offered, I think we went in the middle tier. Was it right, Devin? We didn't go right for the big one. We didn't go for the little one. We kind of, you know, we were in that middle. And again, we could also adjust that as we move forward too. So, I wanted to put my 2 cents out there, but that's how I kind of see us interacting.
Well, I guess, I understand that, and so I guess I'm really, not so much beating a dead horse, but something like it. I guess everyone understands then, because of the investment we made this year 2020 and 2021 to build the website, we have, in addition, got ourselves in a situation, or as part of that investment, is that there will be let's say, a continuing carrying cost of some sort. As long as you understand that, it's not going to, whatever our budget used to be in the previous years, it's going to be higher in order to support this, which I think is what, we want to do. And I suppose I probably didn't appreciate that. And so I guess that's why I'm emphasizing it. And it sounds like everybody already understands that. And so we should be good.
I think we're going to have to look at the outcomes for this year to make a determination and later in the year how much we want to invest moving on. Whether this is
that's probably that's an interesting point, because one thing I would doubt we would get to is we get to the end of this year and geez, the outcomes weren't what we had hoped and so forth. Therefore, in the following years, we're going to do nothing. That's not going to be an option. We've got to, in order to, and I'm not suggesting that that's what you're saying, but in order to take advantage of what we've invested and what we've created, if we get to the end of 2022 and plan A doesn't work, well, we'll come up with plan B. But what we're not going to do is say, okay, let's not do any more work regarding the website because it's too expensive or too hard or whatever. We've got a functioning asset in the website, and we're going to nurture that and invest in it going forward. And we have to understand that, and we'll act accordingly when we get the metrics at the end of 2022 and so forth.
Well, let me clarify. I meant, I guess what I should have said was that we will continue to commit, but what level of commitment will be determined by the outcomes this year. I don't foresee that us dropping this. There's going to be an expense, but what is that expense going to be? It's very difficult to put a number on it right now, but I think toward the end of the year, we'll be better able to come up with what our commitment's going to be moving forward.
But based on, now that I've beaten the horse, I don't know what you do after. When you beat the horse, then you do something else afterwards. But all I'm saying is, as we get to that point, and I think everybody understands it, so I'm like I said, I'm overdoing it. But I suggest that those investments going forward will not be inconsequential. It may not be 57 or 60, but it ain't going to be 5. I don't think, and it ain't going to be 10. And and I would guess it's based on what I've seen so far. It's going to be more than 40, which is okay. As long as I mean, and I think looking at the faces here, people understand that, and we'll deal with it when it happens.
Well, the outcomes are going to have to be able to support this. What it does for us, I think, is what's going to determine what we can afford moving on.
Well, luckily in our situation, and this is for the whole board, is the fact that we're going into the next few years with a very solid fund balance. And therefore are in a position to make those investments. And I think that the ideal in the perfect world is that the website generates that type of business development activity that where in prior years our revenues might have been 50 or 75,000, because I see we're projected next year for revenues of 210,000. We do that, that's great. And then you're not having, I'm not having any conversation about this at all. But that would be the ideal. We got the website. The website generates the business development we had hoped for, and the attending revenues from admin fees and so forth that develops really takes care of those takes care of that additional financial commitment to take care of the website and enhance it as necessary. So that's I guess my long-winded summary. And I think I know in the next few years we're in a position to handle it financially.
Well, I certainly hope we're going to be able to. I think that's our goal. Taking a look at the CETA, what CETA's website has done, I think that that's a good indicator of what the website can do. I think we've been very successful with having that website and generating interest in our community through that website, and this will only enhance that. Is my hope.
And Jim, if I can just add something, it's not just a website. What TGW has created for AIDA is a brand, and a brand is ultimately a tool. So what you've purchased is an $80,000 tool, and it's a beautiful tool, but like any tool, if you buy it and you let it sit on the shelf, it doesn't do anything for you. So the hope is that by engaging with TGW on this contract, that they will wield this tool that they've created, that they are fully apprised of. And the other great thing about TGW is they are well invested in Auburn. They're a Rochester-based firm, but they work with the Historic and Cultural Sites Commission. They are, just very connected to this area, and the research that they've done. I have all the trust in TGW, and I enjoy working with them as a team. And I think you'll be pleased. I hope that you'll be pleased by the end of their contract with what they can do for AIDA.
I think we all feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Gwen, do you have anything?
I just needed to remind myself of something because I don't remember, but I also sit on the CETA board, and I think a really interesting tool that the board looks at is a dashboard that lets us know how activity is performing against a set of goals. And I can't remember when we were starting to enter into this relationship with AIDA, if Tracy had established a set of goals that she would like to achieve as part of using this process as a tool. Did she do that?
So for CETA, what we track are a couple of metrics for the website, which are bounce rate and pages per session. primarily, I track many other metrics for,
Mhm.
for AIDA.org. We also, I believe, and Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, we report back to the county on activities like CETA produces a couple narratives a year. And, you know, these are the things that we keep track of their performance. For instance, the narratives, they go on YouTube and, you know, we put some marketing dollars behind them as well. And we keep a good track of their performance. If any of you are familiar with like the marketing activities report, that I guess it's just the CETA board that gets that report, right, Danny? I include information on there about social media activity or event activity, emails. CETA also has an email that we put out about every 4 weeks. So all of that activity is monitored and reported on, and that's pretty much how we sort of track, you know, for CETA.
Great, thanks. I couldn't remember because I knew we did something someplace. So one of the things that I might offer for consideration, Devin and Danielle, and I think this could be both a qualitative and a quantitative task, but I think what I'm hearing people say, and what I also think about, is any visible indication you can give to us that this investment is directly connected to piquing someone's interest or actually attracting someone here. You might be doing it, I think, and it could be me. I'm just letting you know, my brain's not like it used to be. But making it more evident to us that the relationship between that query and the website, when you can do that in both qualitative and quantitative kind of ways, I think as a board member is the kind of evidence I'm always looking for. So I get the dashboards on my CETA side at Center State CEO, I get the same thing. So, and I think the beauty of this is that I think you're in a position to define success. If you tell me what success looks like, I'm gonna believe you. I will believe you. I just think then you can then orchestrate the data to give us that demonstration. And I think that might be the missing link. And just on boards I sit on and boards that are clients of mine, the more you can, how you package it for us to get it, I think will be helpful. And Katie, I was thinking you might be doing some of this kind of stuff in your space, and I'm not trying to give you more work, but I think that that can be helpful to this board while we're all hearing when other people come on, to help us be comfortable in continuing an investment that probably shouldn't be under $40,000. That might be small, actually, in some ways, but are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, great. Katie, I was wondering what you thought about that. And I think
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
No, I definitely agree, Gwen. And I think just to go back to Roger's point about the website and the investment that we made, we need people to find the website so that they can use that to ultimately make the decision to come to Auburn. So we do need to put marketing dollars to get those tactics out and, you know, flighted so that people are finding the website. And as far as metrics and tracking, I do a lot of that work with my team at National Grid. So whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to share my knowledge and my time with you, Devin and Danny, to do that.
So I think as just follow up, and what Gwen is saying is what we do is we include it into the monthly packet for the committee report. So can work with Devin on kind of creating that marketing dashboard, which we can include in every month's agenda packet for the board to review those metrics around this contract, if that works.
I think that would be perfect. And I just offer that because I'm seeing more and more that's the tactic that leaders are using to help boards consume information. And we just really need the fast food for the eyes version of it. We need to be clear what you're defining as success. And then B, we need then the dashboard can be lined up to prove that performance to us. So thank you, Danny. I'm sure it is in the narrative. I just think when we're looking through stuff, we may not be interpreting it the way, at least let me speak for myself. I'm not interpreting it the way that you may want me to. And I think dashboards are very valuable and helping boards of directors just see something. Remember, you get to define success. So make sure we understand what you're defining and then invite your colleagues at TGW just to help you measure that. And I don't even need to see that on a monthly basis. I could look at that on a quarterly basis if you wanted to, whatever the rhythm is that you think is best for us to take a look at it. I'd be open. And then I would encourage you, if Katie has something that she uses at National Grid, why reinvent a wheel?
I'd like to make a recommendation that possibly you and Katie could form a subcommittee to report to the board on a periodic basis, so that we're all hearing the same thing as we do with our other subcommittees.
I'm open to that. And I think my friend, City Councilor Terry Cuddy nodded his head in a positive for that too. So if Katie and Terry are open to that, and Devin, you believe that would be a support for you, then I'm down. So I'm down for whatever. So I'm more than happy to do that. And I think the three of us have the kind of experience that could be helpful to the board and
Paul,
to the
Paul, you're getting beyond the scope of the notice of the meeting. If you do a special meeting, you're only allowed to discuss the business on the meeting, which was approval of the contract. So to the extent you're going to discuss forming committees and things like that, even though it's related to the agreement, it is beyond the scope of the notice.
We'll bring that up at the February 16th meeting then.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep, sorry.
No, that's perfectly all right. I appreciate that. Is there anybody else that has anything that they would like to either ask or add to the motion that's on the board right now? Okay. Then all in favor of the contract as it's written now? Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
oppose? Abstentions carried. So Rob, the new business that's on the agenda, we really shouldn't talk about that? It's the Auburn Visitors Guide ad placement.
You can discuss whatever is on the agenda.
Oh, okay, very good. So going to new business, 2022 Auburn Visitors Guide ad placement. Is there a motion on?
I will motion.
Second, please.
Second,
Thank you. Discussion. Danielle, would you like to address that?
Sure, I'll get it started and then Devin, you can fill in if I'm missing anything. So last year, TGW designed an ad for AIDA and it ran in the Citizen, and AIDA paid for that directly for that ad placement, and it was $750. So Devin has been in recent conversations with the Citizen, and they had asked if AIDA wanted to run another ad, but this would be an additional cost outside of the $57,000 contract with TGW. So we wanted to kind of bring it up and see if this was something that AIDA wanted to place again in the Citizen.
Danielle, I'm going to add on to that. The Citizen produces for the Historic and Cultural Sites Commission a visitor's guide, which you may have seen it if you've been to the Equal Rights Heritage Center or in the lobby at 2 State Street. It looks like this. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it up to show you what it looks like. But it is it's a nice little booklet. AIDA had placed a full page ad within the booklet on the page 3, third page in. This was almost immediately after the launch of the new brand. So Tracy was contacted, I believe, by the Citizen and perhaps by the commission to ask if AIDA would like placement in this wonderful Auburn Visitors Guide. Brand new brand, great way to showcase the new branding. And so the citizen has contacted me with first right of refusal for this full page ad, which may or may not still be available. The cost is $750 for the placement.
Devin, is that cost for being page 3? Is the cost different if it's in a different part of the booklet?
The full page interior ad cost is $750.
Okay. Yeah, I think if we could continue to have a position up front in the, page 3 is great.
Mhm.
You're, people are seeing that early on. I would encourage us to keep that spot.
Would any other work need to be done, or would we kind of recycle what we did last year, or what's your thoughts on that for the ad placement and the additional costs for generating the content?
So that's a good question, because TGW did design this ad for us last year. We could recycle and reuse the same ad. We could, under the new contract, ask TGW to design a new ad. We have 2 print pieces contracted through TGW. I'm not sure if I necessarily want to use that as the print piece. There are other things that we can do that I feel we can try other things with TGW to produce print pieces, including a palm card for AIDA. So to answer your question, Jeff, yes, we can recycle that ad.
I
Perfect,
agree
thanks.
that we should, just for the very reasons that Devin laid out. Remember, we just finished the brand, or they finished the brand. We put that right out. I still think it's still kind of fresh. And I for just to save on the design element, and also not to use one of our print print portions, as Devin said, on this. I think reusing the old one would be fine, or the last year's one. Shouldn't call it old.
Yeah, that's kind of
I
where I
would
was going. I
agree with
agree.
that. Devin, do you have any idea of how many of those guides were sent out or used last year?
I am searching for the sell sheet as we speak. I have it right here. Let me just open it real quick and see if they have a distribution number for the
That's what
visitors.
okay.
Visitors guide is, oh, unfortunately, oh, sorry, I have it. 10,000 pieces will be distributed throughout Auburn and the surrounding area from May 2022 through April 2023.
So it's 10,000 units.
That's correct.
That's and it's at the visitor center, right? So it does get outside of the community distribution also. So
Yes.
I like the idea. I think I would go along with Terry that it's not necessary to change what we did, since it's so new, to reuse that again. But I would definitely go for that. Any further discussion? All those in favor of placing the ad in the visitor's guide? Aye.
I
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions carried. Thank you. Is there a motion on the floor to adjourn?
So moved.
I never have a problem getting that one. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions carried. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Good
Bye.
evening.